Hi guys, my name is Emma. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I make mulberry jam. A nice lady from church gave me a whole bunch of mulberries and gave me the idea to make mulberry jam. I'm so glad I did because it was so good. Yeah, it is so good. So I'm going to use the leftover mulberries and make another batch. So I want to show you how I do it. So I already have things prepped. Half a cup of lemon juice and 6 tablespoons of powdered pectin, or you can use 1 box of powdered pectin. 5 cups of white sugar. It is a lot, but this is actually 1 cup less than the recipe calls for. And mulberries, I will need 3 cups of crushed and stemmed mulberries. So these are already stemmed. I will have to crush this in a little bit. There are other things that we'll be needing in this recipe, such as jars. You want to check for cracks and chips because you don't want it to crack once you process your jam or whatever you're making, and because you can't save it. So what you do is run your finger on top of the rim. If it's smooth, that means your jar is good, and inspect for any cracks within the jar as well. I highly recommend to prep your jars however you want to sterilize your jars before you start cooking your jam, because you want to pour your jam into the jar as soon as possible, because the longer it sits, as the temperature cool down, it will become jelly-like. I already have lids and rings, some people call bands, in here because I will pour hot water in it to sterilize the lids. A funnel, a ladle, a spoon to mix the mixture, a jar lifter. You definitely can use a grabber to get your jars out. A large pot. You also will want a tea towel, something to lay on the counter when you ladle jelly to catch any spill may happen, and a clean rag to clean around the rim after the jelly is in the jars. My jars are ready. I boil them in hot water. I'm going to let them sit here until the jam is ready to go in it. I have 3 different sizes. I like to use variety sizes so that way they make perfect gifts, for different family sizes. Yep, I'm smashing these berries with just my potato masher. You have to put a little elbow into it because these berries are not tender like raspberry or blueberries. I feel like they're more like blackberries. So each batch, I need 3 cups mashed berries. Yep, about 3 cups. With the heat on high, I'm adding the berries in. Lemon juice, powdered pectin. Don't put in sugar yet. You want to bring this to a boil first and then add the sugar. Make sure to stir this frequently or it will stick down the bottom. It is boiling. Now we can add in the sugar. Same thing. Stir this frequently because it will stick to the bottom of the pan and might burn and ruin the batch of jam, I'm going to bring this to a full rolling boil, and then we're going to time it for 1 minute. Okay, it's slowly coming to a boil. This smells so good. I wish you can smell this. So if you have a lot of mulberries and don't know what to do with them, besides eating them fresh, you definitely can make them into jam and jelly. I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. Alright, 1 minute is up. I'm going to turn off the heat and remove it off heat. Now with a jar lifter, I'm going to take the jar out and dump that hot water into the lid pot. Just enough water to cover the lids. I'm going to take all the jars out. I'm going to fill them all up at once. Clean them up all at once. The recipe says each batch yield about 3 pints. Since I put less sugar in it, so I will get less jelly, which is fine with me. I like to experiment and trying to use less sugar when I can. My first batch, I use only 5.5 cups of sugar, and they still gelled up really firm. So I'm like, let's do 5 cups instead of 5.5. I fill this all the way up and leave about 1/4 inch headspace. It doesn't have to be exact. Around the neck area, a little bit above the neck area. Now with a clean rag, I'm going to dip in the warm water here. Squeeze out, it's so hot, so be careful if you do that. And wipe the rim off. I don't think any jam has spilled on it, but never know. Rather be safe than sorry. Because you want the lids to seal. Alright. Let's hold the jar. Alright, now putting them back into the water. Alright, the water just cover the jars. Now I'm gonna turn on high, bring it back to a boil, then let it boil for 10 minutes. It's coming to a boil. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes and let it boil. This is still warm. I just put it in the jar. This is a leftover. It's still warm and yet it's already gelled up. So next time I'm going to make with less sugar. I would go with 1/2 cup of sugar less. I'm glad it works. The timer is off. I'm going to remove the lid and let it calm down before I take the jars out. Underneath the towel is a cooling rack to keep the hot jars from contact directly on the counter, and the towel is to catch water dripping from the jars. I'm going to remove them out of the pot. I'm going to let them sit there for 24 hours or a few days whenever I get to it. So don't take off the ring or mess with the jars until it is completely cooled down. I have 1 cup crushed mulberries left. As I said earlier, the next time I make this jam again, I'll put 4.5 cups of sugar instead of 5. So that means for every cup crushed berries is 1.5 cups of white sugar. So I'm gonna make this and see if it works. So, alright, let's do it. In this cute little pot, I'm adding 1 cup crushed berries, 2 tablespoons powdered pectin, and 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Turn the heat on high, mix it well. I'm cooking this amount same as how I would cook a full recipe. It's about to boil, and then I'm going to add the sugar. Alright, there it is. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of sugar. Mix it in and keep stirring it so it doesn't burn down the bottom of the pan. I hope this pan is big enough. I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute. and keep stirring it. Alright, we made it. Turn off the heat and remove it off heat. I'm going to do gel test. What you can do is put a spoon in the freezer because the cold spoon cool the jam down quicker to see if it gel. What do you think? Do you think less sugar works? I think so. It may not be as thick or as jelly-like as 6 cups of sugar, but I'd rather have less sugar than 6 cups, you know. So the next time I'm making this jelly again, I'm sorry, I kept saying jelly, this jam again, I'm going to use 4.5 cups sugar. Yeah, definitely gel. Do you hear that sound? That is a sign your jar is sealing properly. Another sign to tell if your jar is sealed is obviously when you open it, it's attached. You can't take it up, right? And also the top is flushed in. It's not like, it doesn't have a dome like. I don't know if you can see, but this one still sort of dome like. It's bulging up, so it's not quite sealed yet. So that's why I'm not picking it up and showing it to you. Pretend this is a completely full jar of jam, okay? And you press a lid, and the lid is flexible like that. That means it did not seal. So I would recommend put in the fridge and eat it. Isn't it beautiful? I just love it. It tastes so good. That is it to how to make mulberry jam. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider to do so. I would really appreciate your support. Alright, until the next time, you have a good day.